Hello and welcome to this week's show. Today I'm going to be focusing on the third discipline of the core disciplines that we've discussed up till now. Today it's... oh, hang on. What's that? I don't know what that was. Something popped up. Anyway, today's topic we're discussing is this discipline of conscious choice. And so what is conscious choice? What does that actually mean? I mean, okay, so when we make conscious choices, you are in the present. You're in the moment. You're not living in the past. You're not worrying about the future. You're consciously focusing on what's happening right now, and you're focusing on whatever information you need to focus on in order to achieve your goal, do whatever you want, make a decision. So most of us are living basically in an illusion of choice, where we tell ourselves that we're at choice, when really we're allowing other factors to dictate the choices and decisions that we take. So that could be stuff such as fears from the past, worries and concerns, doubts, anything that might dissuade you from seeing something in a certain way from the past, a past experience, which is influencing how you think currently and unconsciously, because this is essentially what it boils down to. You're allowing your unconscious to make the choices in the moment for you, rather than a conscious choice and really thought out process about what you really want to do, considering all options. So when you're in most of the choices and decisions we make tend to come from our unconscious and our past. So we are not allowing ourselves to see the full picture. So a lot of the time, a lot of judgment will be involved as well. So we might judge something for good or bad or whatever it is. We'll judge it from past experience, and that will influence again how we show up in any situation now and making choices. Judging limits our decision making, basically. So it holds us back from achieving or accepting what is. So if something's not happened how you wanted to and you haven't accepted it, it will influence the choices that you make today. Judging clouds our decision making completely. So it also causes us not to consider and evaluate all possibilities. And this happened to me earlier this week. On Monday, I woke up and I did exactly this. I allowed my unconscious to dictate the choices I was making that day. And I made bad choices, which led to more things happening during the day, which would just threw me out of sync completely, and essentially didn't get what I wanted to do that day. I didn't achieve what I wanted to do. So, and that was all down to a choice I made, which was full of judgment and without considering the full picture and looking at it from a conscious perspective. And the consequences were that my day got thrown out of sync, and I didn't get what I wanted to do done, basically. So conscious choices are important if we want to make the right choices in life. We can always make choices which are hold us back from something. For instance, if you're a level 1 perspective, and that's a victim mentality. So you tend to only see a situation from one sort of view. So it's a case of seeing things as being done to you. Hence the victim mentality. So you're an effect of something around you. It might be this: oh, I can't do anything because of the lockdown, or it might be because I haven't got the money, or whatever it is. You're an effect of something. So that's your mindset. So that affects your choices, because you will make choices based on what you believe to be true, even if that's not necessarily the case. So you're judging a certain situation as you see it from that perspective, the energy that you're in. So at level 1, you'll only see that perspective. For instance, if you move up one, that's more about conflict. Level 2 is more about conflict. So in that situation, you're going to be hell bent on being right. You want to be right. So you're not interested in the full facts. You're not interested in seeing all angles of the argument. You're only interested in being right. So that's how you will see any choice or decision you make in that mindset will lead you to follow that sort of train of thought. So the thing is, I mean, what happens is when you're in that sort of when you're entrenched in that sort of thinking, you tend to not be open to all the possibilities and different bits of information that might be available to you, which might influence or change or, you know, completely alter the perspective that you think is real or is the truth, and therefore that affects any choices and decisions that you end up making as well. So we tend one of the instead of being judging a situation for good or bad or whatever it is, when we remove judgment from our decision making, we allow ourselves to be more discerning and look at things from a discerning perspective, where we can see the situation much more openly. And well, I've got the actual dictionary definition here of discernment. So it's the ability to see. The ability to see, understand people, things or situations clearly and intelligently. So if we're looking at a situation, and I must say that discernment is an anabolic trait, so that's an energy level which is much higher from the ones I've just explained. If you're looking at a situation without that fog of judgment and all these past beliefs which influence how we make our decisions, then what you do is you're giving yourself the opportunity to see everything as one, the whole picture. Without judgment or any agendas, so you're seeing it clearly. Then you're in a position to make a very clear judgment, decision on, you know, whichever choice you want to make, and then you're guaranteeing in that situation that whatever choice you make is going to be the best one for you. So when you think about it in that terms, we tend to make decisions based on 3 different methods. And this is for everybody, but even though there's 3, we tend to only use 1 or maybe 2 when we make a choice. And those different methods are logic, emotion, and intuition. We tend to either look at any issue, any situation, decision through the lens of one of those factors. So it might be that you look at it more logically, and other people might look at it more emotionally. And it's only when you combine all 3 that we give ourselves the power to really make proper good choices that really serve us, conscious choices. So it's logic, and that's just like looking at the facts. Emotionally, how do I feel about something? And intuition, what does my gut tell me about something? So it might be the case that your logic is telling you, yeah, this is great. Your emotions, not so sure. Your intuition tells you something completely different. So when you weigh up all 3 of them, rather than just going with one, you give yourself an opportunity to make a very conscious choice about all angles of the situation, and therefore you're in a better position to make a decision on something. So if you think about it, you know, when we focus on the past, or when we look at the future, we're never actually in the moment. So when you think about it in terms of that, most of us don't ever make conscious decisions because we're always focusing on the past or living in the future. So it might be the case that, you know what I mean, so when you're thinking about something in the past, it drains your energy, so that you're in a situation where you're also looking at whatever decisions or choices you're making from a low energy. So if you're thinking about something in the past and how bad that went in that situation, you're telling yourself that will happen again. You've already talked yourself out of making that decision because of something that's already gone before, and therefore you're going to miss out on tons and tons of opportunities throughout your life because you've already talked yourself out of moving forward, basically. So and it's the same as if you take, for instance, if someone gives you advice to do something, and you decide to go and take that advice without looking at it fully, without looking at would it work for me perspective. So you're taking advice. It's unlikely that you're going to get what you want out of the situation because you're taking someone's advice. You're not acting on, you know, the full picture. So the best, probably the most constructive way would be to look at it, and we call it holographic thinking. When you look at things in terms of logic, emotion, and intuition, you evaluate all different elements of the perspective. So, and it gives you a better picture of the whole scenario. So that's what conscious choice is, really. So it comes in line with the first 2 that we discussed, core disciplines. Awareness, and then acceptance, and then conscious choice. When you're aware, you become much more accepting. When you're aware of everything about you, I'm talking about, when you become much more aware of yourself, you become a lot more, you become accepting to everything that has gone before and who you are now. And then when you're in that mindset where you're much more accepting, well, you are accepting of everything, you can then turn around and make proper conscious choices which serve you, rather than, you know, go nowhere with life, or turn out to be the choices that weren't right for you. So there's lots of different things you can attribute that to, but I mean, I think if you look back at your life and ask yourself, how many times have I actually made a conscious choice, I think you'd be surprised there'll be very few of them. So that's all for today. Again, I've got a 4-week group challenge coming up in the second week of April, and it's called the Turning Point Challenge, and it's basically aimed at people who want to go from a level 1 victim sort of mentality who are stuck to getting going with their lives. So I'll be putting more details of that in my weekly newsletter, so if you want to find out more about that, then drop your name in the box after this video, and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.